Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Calm with Carlin, yoga and meditation for your everyday life. Today we have a 10-minute yoga class for low back pain. So whether you have an injury or you live with chronic low back pain, you're just feeling a little bit achy from sitting at your desk job, wherever it might be, this class is going to help you with your mobility. It's going to help to get a nice relief in those low back muscles so your back can feel super healthy and open. We don't need any props, and we're going to get started lying on our backs. So I'll see you there when you're ready. All right, so coming to lie on your back, all of these stretches that we're going to do today are stretches that you can incorporate into a daily routine for better low back health, better overall spine health. It's going to help your core get stronger. So we're going to start with just a simple knees to chest. So lying down on your back, making sure that the low back is pressed down into the mat beneath you, and just hug your knees into your chest and pause there. Feel a little bit of pressure as the low back really melts into the mat beneath you. And notice that little rounding of the lumbar spine. It's the low back part of your spine. And start to breathe here. Right away, finding a breath count that you can maintain throughout practice. Maybe 3 count inhales and 3 count exhales, in through the nose, out through the nose, or in through the nose, out through the mouth, if you'd like a little bit less heat building in the body. And from here, just start to rock side to side. Really gentle rocks all the way onto your side. Just enough that you feel that little massage in the low back area. And as you roll to your left, your right side is just hardly coming off of the mat. Same thing as you roll to the right. That left side is just hardly coming off of the mat. Keep rocking back and forth here. Nice and slow. And then option to stay here if you want to add in a little bit of hip action while you get into this low back. You can find a happy baby, bending the knees, bringing the hands to the inside or outsides of the feet, and pressing the knees in towards the armpits while continuing to press the low back down into the mat beneath you. Again, you can stay in stillness or you can keep going with those little rocks side to side. Just a couple rounds of breath here. Maybe a few more rocks. And then slowly start to bring the knees back into the chest. Take the hands behind the thighs. And we'll start to take some really slow rocks and rolls up and down the length of the spine. And each time, maybe they get a little bit bigger. Maybe you find yourself in a little mini bolt hold, engaging the core, and eventually coming all the way up and finding your tabletop position. Amazing for your low back is your cat-cows. We'll get right into that now. Take an inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, toes are tucked. And then exhale, tuck the chin, round through the spine, take your gaze to your belly button. And as you press into the ground and you round the spine, really focus on that rainbow shape, tucking the chin to the chest. That rounding, especially in the low back, is going to offer some relief. A little bit of mobility in the spine here as you're moving. And also syncing your movement with your breath. Every inhale is that cow pose. And every exhale is that cat pose, tucking the chin, rounding the spine. Couple more rounds here. Moving with your breath. Nothing has to be fast. And then when you're ready, slowly come back to your tabletop position. Bring the big toes together, but the knees out wide. And from here, we'll thread the needle. Take an inhale. Lift the right arm up to the sky. On your exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left. Just reach, don't lower. And then inhale, lift it back up. Exhale, thread and hover. Inhale, lift back up. Feel the twist in the torso. Exhale, twist and hover. This time hold. And then slowly make the right shoulder and the right ear down to the ground. Maybe walk the left fingertips out in front of you as I have. Opening through the shoulders here, also feeling some relief in the low back and the sides of the body. Take one more breath here. And then after your exhale, start to walk that left hand back underneath the left shoulder. Press into the left palm. Reach the right fingertips up to the sky. One more time. And then slowly make your way back down. Inhale, reach the left fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, thread the needle. Left arm goes under and you hover. Inhale, lift it back up. Exhale, thread and hover. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, thread, hover, and this time, as I scooch to create more space, hold, bringing the left shoulder and the left ear down to the ground. Option to walk the right fingertips out long in front of you. And you're holding here, breathing. Same slow as inhales and exhales, whatever that count was that you set at the beginning of your practice. One more breath here. And then start to walk the right hand back underneath the right shoulder. Press into the right palm and reach the left fingertips up to the sky one more time. And then slowly come back to your tabletop position. And from your tabletop position, drop the forearms to the ground. Take the legs out long behind you and find your Sphinx pose. So the opposite action in the spine here from our cat pose. Rounding through the spine in the opposite direction, finding that arch. Your forearms are parallel to one another. Your gaze is just neutral. And think about pulling the elbows in towards the center of the body as you press the chest through the biceps, keeping the belly button down, keeping the tops of the feet down. And even though you're arching in that lower back, try and maintain length at the same time. Couple breaths here in stillness. And then when you're ready, slowly make your way into a child's pose, bringing the knees in close together, taking the forehead down to the ground and the arms long behind you. Couple breaths here. The closer you move your forehead towards the knees, the more you'll feel that rounding in your cervical spine as well, the upper back and the neck. If you're looking for some relief there as well. But this closed leg child's pose with the arms long behind us rather than in front of us is going to help to find some relief in the low back, rather than focusing on opening the hips and the shoulders like you might in a wide-legged child's pose. Stay here for 2 more rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, slowly take the hands out long in front of you and find your downward facing dog. The feet are hips width distance apart, equal weight in both sides of the body. And as you're kind of starting to pedal here, focus on keeping the knees bent
to give yourself that relief in the low back. So rather than straightening the legs and really trying to get those heels down to the ground, keeping the bend in the knees and just focusing on getting the chest to the thighs is going to help you to kind of feel this more in your low back for that stretch rather than the stretch in the hamstrings and the calves. So maybe you keep the knees bent the entire time for this modified downward facing dog rather than ever straightening. Maybe it feels good to straighten, whatever feels good for you. Just keep that tailbone tucked, low back nice and round. And then from here, start to walk the hands towards the back of the mat until they meet the feet. And from here, we'll come into a ragdoll position. The hands will come to opposite elbows. You'll keep the knees super bent so the chest is touching the thighs. And then from here, just rock side to side. Let all the tension go. So there's really no need to straighten those legs. That's for a hamstring focus. You can always keep those knees bent in those forward folds to get into the backs of the legs, but also just focus on that low back relief. Maybe you shake the head yes and no. Maybe you bend the knees even more deeply. And after another round or two of breath, you'll just gently bring the hands back down to the ground and walk yourself back out to a downward facing dog. And from your downward facing dog, bend the knees, look to the top of the mat, and then bring your left knee down to the ground in about the middle of the mat. And then take the right leg behind it. And as you come up, bring your left foot onto the ground. So you're setting up for a half Lord of the Fishes. From here, take an inhale. Take the left arm long behind you. And then exhale as you start to twist over towards the left side. So you have two options here. You can have that bent arm pressing into the outside of that left leg, or you can give yourself a hug with that right arm. Might be a little bit more accessible for this twist. Maybe you start to walk the left hand back towards the back right corner of the mat. Couple breaths here, feel this twist. And then as you're ready, come back through center, find a little counter twist over to the right. And then as you're ready, take the hands down to the mat, uncross the legs, and find your downward facing dog. And then from your downward facing dog, this time you'll take the right knee bent to about the middle of the mat. You'll slide the left knee right behind it, and then you'll sit down as you lift the right foot up, plant it down on the mat. Take an inhale, right hand goes long behind you. Exhale, twist to the left, either finding that bent left elbow on the outside of the thigh, or hugging the right knee with that left elbow. Maybe you start to walk those right fingers back towards the back left corner of the mat. Feel this nice gentle twist in the torso. And then as you let go, come through center and walk the fingertips over towards the left side, finding a little counter twist. And then from here, we'll take it all the way down to our backs, sending those legs long in front of you. Hug the right knee into the chest, giving it a nice tight squeeze. Feel that low back, that lower spine rounding. And then gently twist it over towards the left side. Maybe take your gaze towards your right middle finger as you elongate the right arm out to the side if you have the space. And since we're keeping this twist in the low back, it's not so important to get that right knee down to the ground. More important to make sure that that right shoulder stays grounded. Slowly come back through center. Hug the right knee into the chest one more time. And then let it go long. Hug the left knee into the chest. Switch out your sides here.
Take an inhale. And then on your exhale, twist it over. Need some more space. Twist it over towards the right. Left arm can go out long if you have the space. Remember, rather than forcing that left knee down to the ground, feeling that super intense stretch in the outside of the left hip, just focus on keeping the shoulder down as you twist through the torso, finding that relief in the low back. And when you're ready, slowly come back through center. Hug the left knee into the chest one more time. And then take those legs out long. And from this position, we'll find 5 deep breaths together. So when you're ready, take a deep inhale in through the nose. Let the belly rise. Maybe one hand is on the belly, one hand on the heart. And exhale, let go. We'll do that 4 more times. Last breath. The bottom of that final exhale, hug the knees back into the chest. Option to rock up to a seated position or come into the fetal position and press yourself up to a seat. When you arrive there, bring your hands to a prayer position with your thumbs right in the center of the forehead between the eyebrows. And from here, peel the 3 middle fingers away from each other, keeping the thumbs and the pinkies touching, creating an opening to let the light in, remembering that there's always light to be let in. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I bow with namaste. Thank you, everyone. Before you go, make sure you subscribe to my channel and please comment down below. Let me know what part of the body you'd like to focus on next for stretches, or what type of class or meditation you'd like to see next. And I'll see you next time.